Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the Mount Tammany Ridge channel. I'm back up here in the garage. I was just down there in the wood yard trying to make a video to buck up some wood and split and stuff like that, and the excavator was dead. So my initial reaction was, oh, must be the battery. And then, of course, I put a jump pack on there, that one we keep down at the barn, charged all the time. That thing didn't do anything, which was frustrating. I have an old jump pack around here somewhere. It's a blue one that I got from Napa. I don't really remember the brand it was, but I really liked that one. Because it didn't have like all these crazy safety features, like if you needed to kind of arc it out and jump start with a screwdriver on the clamp and a ground on the other end, and jump a little ATV starter or something, you could do that. With that other one, you can't do that. There's just too many safety features. It won't let you kind of ride the lightning, if you know what I mean. So, however, this charger, this deep cycle charger, is kind of like a, ride the lightning kind of a charger. So it's very basic. You look at the needle tells you whether the battery's dead or if it's taking a charge, and or if it's not taking a charge. It also does 6 volt or 12 volt. This thing, gosh, I remember being single digits age, 5, 8 years old, seeing my father use this around the house. So we've had that around a very long time. It's practically an heirloom. This thing. So this thing, I like it. I like it more now than I used to be honest. This thing here, okay, is really kind of what saved the day. This charger kept telling me that the battery was good, it was taking a charge, and normally I have more confidence in this one and I have less confidence in this one, but this battery was dead. All right, and my multimeter was telling me that it had plenty of voltage. This charger was telling me that it was taking a charge and it had plenty of voltage. Okay, however, this battery, a battery charger, was telling me that the battery is likely to be failing or not working, damaged or whatever, through some of these little blinking lights and fancy stuff it does. Now, I've had that happen before with a Mahindra tractor that I had. Now, not to say that it was lying then, but because I wasn't used to using something like this, it was kind of foreign to me. I was just so used to using a multimeter, things like that. So the good news is, long story longer, the starter on the excavator is fine, thank God. Not that it was crazy expensive. I think it was somewhere around 200, a little bit less depending on who you're getting it from, and a little bit more, in other places. So I went out and I got a new battery, put it in the machine. Yeah, I stole it from you, Spicer. So anyway, it's running awesome now. It's actually, I don't think it's ever started that good before. I've had that thing for over 4 years, and it's always started no matter what the temperature was. I was a little lazy in the wintertime, but it's always started. This year, no way, wasn't gonna happen. So this charger was gifted to me. My father had bought it for me probably 6 or 8 years ago. This is the only one we've actually had in the family forever. So when my Napa jump pack, my suitcase style jump pack, wasn't cutting it, trying to get that tractor fired up after it froze solid, which, mind you, I burned up a starter on that. That's one of the reasons why I was kind of panicking with the excavator. But this thing, I doesn't really have a brand per se, other than, you know, battery extender, powered by Schumacher. So I'm not sure where my father got it from. He could have got it from Tractor Supply. He could have got it from Harbor Freight. I don't know. But if anybody's interested, I'll put it in the link on in the description. You know, battery extender powered by Schumacher. Look that up. I don't know if it's going to get you anywhere, but it has 200 amp engine start, which is really nice. If you really need that extra kick to start over a bigger motor, like if you got an old Ford tractor or something like that, you know, like a backhoe, that should do pretty good if it's a gas motor. Diesel, I was able to jump start my diesel with this in combination with my blue jump start pack. Use the two together, I was able to get my diesel truck to fire. But by itself, if the batteries are down too low, I don't think it would ever happen. But anywho, so yeah, I mean, it does all kinds of, you know, it's got, let's see, rate selection, charge maintenance, let's see, 40 amp boost, 200 amp engine start. And then over here it tells you, you know, whether you've got your clamps reversed accidentally, or you got your boost charging, that indicator light to tell you what that's doing, and then this one's got charge maintenance. So I think that's just a standard charge. So that one saved the day this time. I should have listened to the light early on, and I wouldn't have panicked at all. It actually told me that the battery was kaput. So, and this battery does not have the liquid cells that, you know, the consumer can pop open the cap and, you know, put, you know, what do you call it, distilled water in there to get a better charge out of it. It says clearly on there, do not open at all. So figured that's going back as a core. So another kind of like a public service announcement, right? So not that you need one, but you're gonna get one. So these caps that I took off the old battery, or the new battery that I put in the machine, try to keep those caps, put them on the old battery. Because even though these things don't really have a fire in their belly, so to speak, there's probably more than enough current in there to cause you a garage fire or something, right? So there was a driver that I met years ago when I used to haul freight for myself, and he had a dead battery in the bed of his truck because he used to haul freight like I did doing the hot shot. Well, he had a dead battery in the bed of his truck because he had a third battery in his truck to help run a winch. Okay, that was literally, it was his what do you call it? His receiver, his trailer receiver. He had a winch that slid in and out of that to recover cars, to get it closer to the road or whatever, and then he'd pull them up on his trailer with the other winch. But anyway, the old battery that was dead was in the back of his truck. Well, it flipped over upside down, okay? In the back of his truck, I mean, there was a bunch of spots where the, you know, the paint and the primer was scraped down to bare metal from dragging chains and binders in and out and things like that. That thing flipped over upside down and completely fried his ECM in his truck. That's what he had told me. Whether you mechanic guys out there feel that that's kind of like a bogus claim, well, that's on him. I mean, that's what I learned, and it seems pretty logical that something like that can happen. Those terminals ground out on the bed of the truck. You get a short to ground kind of thing, or a back power feed or whatever. It seems pretty legit. So that's something to think about. I mean, his truck didn't catch on fire and burn to the ground on the shoulder or anything like that. Not that it couldn't, right? but it was just enough current to screw things up in his truck pretty bad. So, anywho, tonight I'm going to be probably recording a little bit of chain maintenance, and that'll be on a later video. That's really why I'm out there, or out here. But I figured I would make a long, short video explaining to you what I have figured out with this thing, and kind of, all what actually happened with the excavator and what the results ended up being. So my baby is back, and my other baby, my big baby, is going to be coming home tomorrow. So I'll bring you guys along for a little bit of that, and we'll talk a little bit more about what actually happened with the skid steer. It was really an emotional kind of thing going on with the skid steer, right? So I was so boiled over in anger that I felt like maybe some of my thoughts and feelings were sort of irrational, right? So I kind of held them all back, and I just didn't talk about it much because I really didn't want to, turn it into a, what hits the fan, verbal diarrhea kind of thing. So tomorrow, when I bring the machine home, I will sit down with you guys, probably in the garage where it's not windy and freezing freaking cold, and kind of explain what all went down there. So that's going to be it for now. I figured I'd just stop in, let you guys know I'm not dead. I didn't shut the channel down or anything. It's just been, things have been a little bit messed up. Unfortunately, earlier this week, one of our little four-legged fur babies, we had to see him off to a better place. He had a lot of things going on, some neurological issues from the previous owner that abused him terribly. Not so much the owner, but the roommates that the owner had. And it caused a lot of issues that over the years got worse and worse. And then on top of that, he's had some dachshund related type of issues because he was very long. He's part dachshund, so he was long in the back, and he had a lot of spinal issues. Very, very delicate dog that Oscar was, and it was just between that, and we even think that he was having some cancerous tumors building up inside. So he really wasn't doing good. He had a couple really severe seizures, right when he was eating. I was at work. My wife was at work. My father happened to be the one taking care of the dogs that morning, and he put Oscar's dish down, and within just a minute of Oscar eating out of his dish, he literally just hit the floor like his legs were taken out of underneath him, and just hit the floor like a rock, and went into a full-blown seizure. Very, very severe seizure. So my father basically turned around to grab the phone to call one of us and let us know what was going on. And he went from being in a seizure and very stiff, almost like a fainting sheep kind of thing, or goat, or maybe goat, fainting goat. Kind of posture was going on throughout the seizure. And then my father turned his back to grab the phone, and he heard something. He turned around as he got the phone in his hand, and Oscar had moved like 1.5 feet, 2 feet away from where he was somehow, and he had an even bigger seizure, or at least as bad of a seizure. We're assuming it was a more a worse seizure only because of the fact that he had lost control of his bowels. It got really, really bad. And he was pretty much alive, but really not coherent for about an hour and a half afterward. And he slowly kind of came out of it. But he wouldn't walk. You could stand him up, but he wouldn't walk. His one eye was kind of doing a thing. So when we brought him to the vet, they said, yeah, it's only going to get worse from here. So as you can imagine, that was a very, very, very tough day for both Teresa and I. And of course, my stepdaughter, Jamie, she was the one that brought Oscar home. She's the one that rescued Oscar. Otherwise, he would have wound up staying up in northern New York with my friends that had the litter of his peers. I just want to make the record clear. My friends up in New York that wound up gifting Oscar to us were not the people who were in custody of Oscar during the time of him being abused. It was a girl that they had basically gifted Oscar to initially. And she had a frat house, I guess, where Oscar lived with her. And the people that were staying with her were the ones doing all the awful things to Oscar. So I just wanted to put that out there. Didn't want you to think that my friends up in New York was where the abuse was happening. They love animals very much, and any dog or cat would be in a very blessed home to live with my friends up in New York. Me actually being able to bring my skids to your home and get a couple things done while I got it, because we've been really waiting on this thing. So you guys have yourselves a good night. If you liked what you see here on the Mount Tammany Ridge channel, feel free to give me some comments down below. Maybe hit that thumbs up, subscribe even if you feel like you're interested in doing that. Subscription doesn't cost any money, it's totally free. It basically just helps put me on the radar for YouTube. That way they know that I'm here. And yeah, so that's it. I'll see you guys on the next video, and you guys take care.